Hello, Steve White, Steve White 89. Just something that caught my attention lately. DC, they're apparently going to rebrand their comics again. Generation 5 or 5G, which they're calling it, which is really bad because it just sounds like an internet thing. It doesn't actually, they really need to just stick to Generation 5 or create something that actually specifically sounds like, yeah, that's bad. Um, I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what they're doing. The talk is now for starters. Dan Didio, who has been ruling DC for like 10 years, and it sort of seems to be. I don't know a lot about the inner workings of DC Comics or any of the comic companies. Actually, I wasn't a big comic kid. My mum, in her infinite wisdom, would only buy me like one of each comic, so because she was not going to get caught buying me comics every month. So I just had a few comics here and there, and I didn't really get sucked into it so much. When I got my own money, when I was a teenager, I started buying Batman and stuff, and but that only lasted a couple of years until I went to uni. So I'm not a big, huge comic person, but my understanding is that the comics had a boom in the 90s where they became collectible and everyone was running out buying all these comics that they thought were going to be worth money in the future, but they were all mass produced, so it didn't happen. So a lot of people. And then there was this big decline, and then a slow, steady decline in comics. And the movies, all the comic movies, haven't really helped the comics. It seems like people are just watching the movies instead of reading the comics now. So the comics themselves are not doing well, and there's been a lot of political issues where a lot of the comics have been changed due to what some fans see as political agendas and gender politics and blah blah blah. And some people saying that is hurting the comics, and other people saying it was dying anyway, and some people saying it's both. I don't have a dog in that fight at all. I don't really know anything, but I'm kind of disturbed at the idea. Well, too much change, but also what they're saying is that AT&T, who apparently owns DC, if 5G fails, they may just close the company and DC might just be gone. Now, the sort of suggestion is that they will sell off the main characters to other companies, or they'll create imprints, or they'll just do digital comics because apparently people like to watch them on their TV and computers and stuff, and they don't, actual an actual publisher publishing actual comics for DC is going to go, and it'll just be reprints done by like specialists and digital comics probably. So the idea of there not being a DC Comics, the idea that you go to there's no comic book stores, and even if you could find some rare store that was managing to stay alive by being the only one and being token or being whatever, like record stores and that, like vinyl, if there's some sort of resurgence on that level as collectors or whatever, that there wouldn't be new comics to just be selling back issues and trades is kind of scary and sad. And I'm hearing sort of Marvel's in the same boat. And it's as someone, like I said, I didn't get comics much when I was growing up, but I did see them. I was aware of them. I've been aware of them as an adult, and I have bought stuff here and there, but I didn't really become a collector. Just like I don't play games, I'm not a game person, so it's not really going to hurt me personally. I'm not going to be like, oh, I've got no comics to buy each month, but just the idea they're gone, it scares me. Just like the idea that 20th Century Fox is gone. Disney bought them, changed the name, stuck everything in a, I don't know where all the movies are. They're just stockpiled somewhere. It's not like some of them aren't even going to see the light of day again. A lot of the things that were in production are gone, and just the fact they're gone freaks me out. But yeah, I just don't know what to make of this. Because they rebooted a lot of the comics a while ago. The new, I think it was the New 52 was DC. I think. God, I'm suddenly scared. I've gotten Marvel and Disney confused. Marvel and DC confused. I've done this a lot, but they rebooted someone a while ago, and it didn't really work because people like to know their characters. They like to, they don't want to have to start again. They don't want to have to. Although then there's other people who don't want to have to read 50 years of history to be able to follow a comic, but other people don't want to sort of have all that thrown out just to start again and have it all new and changed and different and not what they grew up with and not what they wanted. So I think they hurt themselves when they did that. I mean, you can reboot something within the franchise, within the canon, without, so people don't have to have that 50 years of, you know, whatever history, and they don't have to go back and do all that. They can start again without totally changing everything. And I think if they change everything, they're going to lose what remaining longevity that they had. Like, no, God, I'm losing my words. The fans who've been with them for ages, who are committed, are probably going to give up if it changes again, and they abandon what those people have been following all these years. So I don't think it's going to work. I think it could possibly be the end of DC, and that's what people are saying. If they do this, if they reboot it again, if they get rid of all the characters everyone's familiar with and change them or replace them or gender swap them or whatever they're planning to do to be new, and to, because I don't know who they're chasing. They seem to be chasing a new audience, and the new audience isn't there. They're all on Twitter bitching about stuff, but they don't actually buy anything. That's what I'm hearing, and that's what I'm seeing in my own life. I like with Star Trek, I have friends who like the new show Discovery, but they haven't bought a single piece of merchandise. I've bought more merchandise for Discovery, which is about 3 things, than they have, and they're the fans who love the show. I hate it, but I've watched the show more than them, and I've got more merchandise. But yet they're the people they're chasing, and it seems to be the same thing with the comic books. They're chasing these people who don't actually buy the comics, and the people who do, that have been there their whole life buying them, they're saying, we don't want you because you're outdated. And I don't know what was all this about. It's just not making any sense. And the idea that they're going to change everything, run themselves into the ground, go out of business, and be gone is just scary and sad. And that's the doom and gloom sort of forecast that's out there for it. So now I do like digital comics. If it just goes to digital comics but it goes on, it won't be really, really bad. But the idea there's no actual comic book on the shelf, that you can't just go, like I used to go to my newsagent and there'd be like, you know, the section of comics, and then some place would have like the little turnstile with the comics on it. Just that sort of thing. The idea that that's gone, it's just really sad. But it just makes me sound old. But yeah, I'm gonna go. I've talked way too long about this, but I saw that and I just was like, no, I don't want DC gone. I want Marvel gone. Oh well, we'll see what happens. I don't know when they're doing this. There's been talk of it happening since I think late last year it was supposed to happen or something, or I'm really not sure because there's a lot of rumors and speculation. Oh yeah, I think it's not officially announced. I don't know. It's a big mess, but I don't know. It's a worry. It's all a big worry. But feel free to share, like, comment. If you know anything, please feel free to let me know in the comments. Thanks. Bye.